Over the last few days, Joe Rogan has finally weighed in on the latest Epstein files leak. And unsurprisingly, his take isn't the simple gotcha narrative that social media has been desperate for. On the podcast, Rogan and Greg Fitzsimmons spend less time chasing shock value and more time questioning what these files actually are and how much of them should be taken at face value.
Yes.
I mean, that's what you did. When you were a wealthy guy, you went to the whorehouse all the time. Then you came home and you gave it to your wife. Then she had a baby. And a lot, depending on the disease, babies are born with the sexually transmitted disease that you gave your wife.
Right. And that's what the crazy thing about the Epstein leaks today. The one email that
And we're here.
that said that Bill Gates wanted to get from him antibiotics to give to Melinda because he got syphilis or he got something.
Damn.
The clap, chlamydia, whatever he got. He got some sort of an STD from a prostitute.
Do you think if she could have the choice between getting the, what did she get, $50 billion or not getting the syphilis, which
Well,
would she
whatever
take?
she got. I bet it wasn't syphilis. It was probably the clap. It was probably chlamydia or something like that.
That's no big deal.
But if who knows if that's true, though? Here's the thing. Like, Epstein clearly was some sort of a blackmailer. And this is an email that Epstein wrote. So it could be complete fiction. Epstein could have wrote that just to put pressure on Bill Gates for some fucking business deal. Like, who fucking knows? He could have spread rumors and then said that he'll squash those rumors. These guys are dealing in deception and blackmail. And so you can't, like, assume that it's true.
Rogan argues Epstein wasn't just chasing celebrity, he was embedding himself in spaces where influence mattered. If you can compromise respected scientists, you can quietly affect things like drug approvals, research funding, or which voices get amplified and which ones get buried. His conclusion is cautious but pointed. The files are provocative, but Epstein's entire operation was built on deception. Anyone treating every email as gospel is missing the point. This wasn't a diary, it was a leverage machine.
Just ask a question. Is your money dirty money?
No, it's not. So, in fact...
Why is it not dirty money?
Because I earned it.
But you earned it...
I earned it legally.
We went back to this before. You earned
Yes.
it. You earned it advising the worst people in the world, right, that do enormous bad things, and just to make more money.
So, instead of asking me the question, should you take the money? Because I think it's a legitimate question.
You think it's a legitimate question?
Yes, no
Why?
question. Because I think about, ethics is always a complicated subject, but I can tell you that with the money I gave to help try to eradicate polio in Pakistan and India, instead of asking me whether that money should be given to these children for vaccines, I think you might want to ask their mothers who received the vaccine, who know their child now won't get polio, and ask them if Epstein should have helped these people with their money.
If we walked in,
is that a fair question?
You're a math.
Now here's where things get messier online and where comedy gets dragged into it. As the file circulated, fans on Reddit started noticing comedian names popping up, and immediately the worst instincts kicked in. Screenshots, lists, implication without context. But when you actually look closer, most of these mentions aren't scandalous at all. Epstein, it turns out, was a fan of comedy, or at the very least, a fan of nightlife and going out. Many of the comedian names appear in comedy seller flyers and email promotions that were sent out broadly. Not private correspondence, not accusations, not evidence of wrongdoing. Names mentioned in that context include Whitney Cummings, Dave Attell, Louis J. Gomez, Big J. Okerson, Mark Normand, Rachel Feinstein, Todd Barry, Greer Barnes, Dan Soder, Pete Davidson, Louis C.K., and Ray Romano. One email even has Epstein commenting on Whitney Cummings' stand-up, calling her routine funny in a way that reads less sinister and more like an awkward, wealthy guy oversharing his taste in comedy. That distinction matters. but nuance doesn't travel well online. Legion of Scants fans were quick to clock this. Many pointed out that being on a Comedy Cellar flyer isn't a scandal, it's a mailing list. But once a name is near the word Epstein, context stops mattering for a lot of people. There's also a strange historical footnote here. Robin Leach, The Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous Guy, also appears in Epstein-related material. And that actually makes sense. Epstein lived in that exact ecosystem. Wealth, excess, celebrity, access. Comedy clubs weren't some moral outlier in that world. They were part of the social circuit.
By none other than the Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, Robin Leach. Welcome.
Hi, Arlene.
When I say the Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, you really took something and made it into a whole lifestyle. However, it's not a lifestyle you were born into, but it's something, if anybody looks like they're having a fabulous time, it's you.
Well, I think, the magic of television dictates that people have got to have a good time watching it, so it better look as if I'm having a good time doing it. We, of course, know that more often than not, instead of drinking champagne, I'm in the edit bay at 2, 3 in the morning, drinking cold coffee out of a styrofoam cup. And there's more time that we eat donuts at 5 a.m. than we eat caviar at 9 o'clock at night in the fancy places. But in the end, the hour that comes out on television looks like champagne and caviar all the time.
My goodness, Robin Leach, black coffee and donuts. I really thought it was champagne and caviar all the time.
We have to produce it, television. Television doesn't make itself.
But you know what? But I am having a good time. I mean, right now, when you're on television, it looks like you're really enjoying it. I know I'm enjoying it.
And that's the uncomfortable truth Rogan is circling around without spelling out. Epstein didn't operate in dark basements. He operated in plain sight, around famous people, around respected institutions, around entertainment, academia, politics, all of it overlapping. So when Rogan says we should be careful about how we read these leaks, he's not defending anyone. He's warning against lazy conclusions. If there's a real takeaway here, it's this. Being mentioned is not the same as being involved, and turning every name into a villain might feel righteous, but it also makes it harder to see where the real crimes actually happened and who actually enabled them. That distinction matters now more than ever, especially in an internet culture that treats accusation as evidence and outrage as research. And if anything, Rogan's reaction shows a rare moment of restraint in a media cycle that thrives on burning everything down first and asking questions later.